Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
Washington Post World, September 2nd, 12:16 America, New York. Live Afghanistan updates. Possible that U.S. could work with Taliban against terrorists, Pentagon says. The United States and the Taliban share a common threat in the Islamic State, which was responsible for an attack outside Kabul airport last week that killed 13 U.S.
Time, September 2nd, 6:45 America, New York. Jill Biden, a tribute to classroom heroes. Every classroom offers a sense of possibility amid the worn books and clean whiteboards at the start of the new school year. A new adventure, messy and magical, is about to begin.
Washington Post World, September 2nd, 6:41 America, New York. Minibus plunges off-road into a valley in Iran, killing 16. Iran's state TV says 16 people were killed and 12 injured in the country's west when a minibus plunged off a road into a valley. New York Times World News, September 2nd, 6:33 America, New York. Climate bankruptcy. Remnants of Hurricane Ida barreled into the New York City region. And what happens when climate change comes to a small southern town? The abandoned downtown of Fair Bluff, North Carolina.
September 2nd, 6:32 America, New York. The Taliban have declared victory. Now they must reckon with a country freefalling into chaos. Taliban show off captured weapons at Kandahar victory parade. White supremacists praise for Taliban concerns U.S. officials.
World CBS News, com. September 2nd, 6:28 America, New York. Paralympian stripped of gold medal for being 3 minutes late. Mohammad Ziad Zoghfli appeared to have won gold in the shot put, but he was disqualified.
Time, September 2nd, 6:24 America, New York. Just 39 female journalists are still working in Kabul after the Taliban's takeover. Only a few dozen women journalists are still working in Kabul following the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, despite the Islamist group's assurance at a press conference that they would honor women's rights under Islam.
Washington Post World, September 2nd, 6:22 America, New York. A TV host in the Ivory Coast asked a sex offender to show his technique on a mannequin. Women fought back. The presenter in Ivory Coast used a mannequin in a primetime segment that sparked fury. Washington Post World, September 2nd, 6:15 America, New York. Zorba composer Mikis Theodorakis dies at 96. In Greece, Theodorakis was seen as a musical visionary and a voice of political resistance. Washington Post World, September 2nd, 6:14 America, New York. Fighting in Yemen's central province kills 28 in one day. Fighting has flared up between Yemen's pro-government forces and Houthi rebels in the oil-rich government stronghold of Marib province, with at least 28 fighters killed over the last 24 hours. Washington Post World, September 2nd, 6:04 America, New York. 90-year-old Japanese sentenced to 5 years in fatal car crash. A Japanese court has sentenced a 90-year-old former senior government official to 5 years in prison for a 2019 car accident which killed a 3-year-old girl and her mother, in a high-profile case in a fast-aging country where elderly drivers have become a safety concern. Washington Post World, September 2nd, 6 o'clock America, New York. After summer of horrific discoveries, Indigenous issues are getting little attention in Canada's election campaign. The main political parties have devoted parts of their platforms to reconciliation, but it isn't dominant on the campaign trail.
September 2nd, 5:53 America, New York. Divorce is not possible with U.S. over space station, says Russian space chief. Despite threatening to pull Russia out of the International Space Station prematurely, the head of the country's space agency is now promising to remain NASA's partner at least until the orbiting outpost is eventually retired.
Washington Post World, September 2nd, 5:51 America, New York. India clamps down on Kashmir after separatist leader's death. Syed Ali Shah Gilani, an icon of Kashmir's separatist movement who vexed the New Delhi government for decades with his uncompromising politics, died Tuesday night. Washington Post World, September 2nd, 5:43 America, New York. Denmark starts impeachment trial on ex-immigration minister. Denmark's rarely used court of impeachment has gathered to try a former immigration minister accused for a 2016 order to separate asylum-seeking couples when one of the pair was a minor.
Fox World News. September 2. 5:42 America, New York. Those left in Afghanistan complain of broken U.S. promises. Even in the final days of Washington's chaotic airlift in Afghanistan, Javed Habibi was getting phone calls from the U.S. government promising that the green card holder from Richmond, Virginia, his wife and their 4 daughters would not be left behind.
BBC News World. September 2, 5:38 America, New York. Mikis Theodorakis, composer of Zorba the Greek, dies aged 96. Mikis Theodorakis was also a key figure of resistance to the Greek military junta of the 1970s. BBC News World. September 2, 5:29 America, New York. Syed Ali Shah Gilani, the man who fought for Kashmir's freedom. Syed Ali Shah Gilani believed India should not rule the region and never changed his stand.
Washington Post World. September 2, 5:24 America, New York. Explainer. Who are the gunmen abducting Nigerian students? The recent release of 3 separate groups of students who had been abducted in northern Nigeria brought joyful reunions and the hope that others still held might soon be freed.
September 2, 5:21 America, New York. Collector buys fake Bankruptcy NFT for over $335,000 after alleged website hack. An art collector says he paid over $335,000 for a fake Banksy, only to have the money returned to him by the alleged scammer.
New York Times World News. September 2, 5:18 America, New York. COVID booster shots beginning in several nations. The Czech Republic joined several countries to say it will recommend extra shots, while much of the world remains unvaccinated. Ivan Fischer, the founder of Budapest's Festival Orchestra, received a 3rd dose of coronavirus vaccine during a promotion at a concert last week.
September 2, 5:17 America, New York. Apple relaxes App Store rules for services such as Spotify and Netflix. Apple will allow companies such as Spotify and Netflix to direct customers to their own websites to make payments, allowing them to more easily avoid fees levied by the App Store. September 2, 5:15 America, New York. Ida triggers massive flooding across Northeast. At least 8 people were killed due to flooding as the Northeast was slammed by torrential rain from the remnants of Hurricane Ida, officials said Thursday.